Hi, you're watching The Savera. This is Amarpal Singh before you. Tensions between India and US are escalating with US President Donald Trump imposing additional 25% tariff on India. With this, the tariff has increased to 50%. So let's understand the impact of this tariff on Indian exporters. We are having with us industrialist Badish Jindal, who is president of World MSME Forum, and he is into steel as well as garment industry. So welcome, sir, to The Savera. Jindal sir, how you see this imposition of additional 25% tariff on India?
See, it's the almost closure of trade with the USA because the problem is that already when it was 25%, there were very bleak chances of trade between India and the US. Now, after the imposition of 50% duty, I don't think there will be any scope of any trade between both the countries. The reason is that our competitors are in technology is China, and in garments it's Pakistan and Bangladesh. Now duties in those countries, with China it is almost 17%, and with Bangladesh and Pakistan it's between 10 to 20%, and having a duty of 50%, I don't think India could compete with this Chinese and Bangladeshi products. So almost it's a closure of trade between India and US now. I think if anything doesn't happen or any new policy doesn't come out, then it is almost a closure.
Sir, how you see which sector of Indian industry are affected most due to this increase in tariff?
See, there are the major trade in India and the US is one is this gold and other jewelry, and the another is the pharmaceutical, and the garment, there is around 40,000 crores of export of garment also, and machinery it's around 1 lakh crore. So all these major sectors will be, and auto parts it was around 30,000 crores. So I think almost every sector will get impacted because with USA our whole trade is around 18% of the total trade, and this is the highest trade between both the countries because we are exporting around 7,50,000 crores of goods to the USA. And now after these duties, I don't think there will be a possibility of any of the exports that is going through, because yet they have to decide on the pharmaceuticals because it's also a big sector, and we are exporting around 90,000 crores of medicines to the USA, and till date they have not decided to impose this duty on the pharmaceutical. But if it is a blanket duty, then I think there will be no chances of export of pharmaceutical also, and jewelry and diamond and other, that is also closed now. And there will be hardly any chance of export of garment, because earlier there was a chance that on Bangladesh there was 20% duty, and on India there was 10% duty because when tariffs were imposed, and India was get aside because most of the tariffs were imposed on China and Bangladesh and all those countries. So now the Bangladesh having the 20% duty and we have the 50% duty, I don't think there is any trade possible between. And second impact is there are pending orders with the USA. Now the pending orders with the USA are more than 1 lakh crores, and that will be impossible for those exporters to supply that material, because no one will pay that duty, neither the exporter nor the importer. So that material will be ready, and it will destroy the relation between the importers and exporters, because in case the materials will be ready and they will not accept the material, I don't think in future there will be any trade between both the buyer and sellers. So overall this is a big blow for India.
Recently, after this imposition of additional 25% tariff, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed concern for farmers, for fishermen, and for poultry farmers. He mentioned about these sectors only, and you are explaining how this additional 25% tariff is affecting the industry. So why Prime Minister is only concerned about these sectors, not the industry?
The Prime Minister is not concerned about majorly these sectors. The Prime Minister is concerned about the cars and motorcycle, because since long India is giving shelter to this motor vehicle industry, and there are duties of more than 100 and 150%. So every time when you listen to this Trump, he says that India imposed 150% duties, and those duties are just on these motor cars only. So many times we have tell the government that don't give so much shelter to this sector, that because with every country the issue is that India is imposing high duties, and most of the duties are just on the cars, on it's even the new cars and the used car also. So the other is that because it's an open economy now, India is doing the FTA with the UK. Now there will be very least duties. Now the world is opening up. You cannot have a conservative economy and you think that you will impose the duty and other countries shall not, because will have to open all the sectors. There will be a competition, we know, and overall the customers will be benefited. If the duties reduce on the imported cars, the ultimate benefits will be the buyers also, the general public also. Now with the USA, it's not a loss of the India or of China or any country. The losses of the public of USA. They will have to pay the duties, and their inflation will increase in those countries. So overall, India government shall come on the table. See, this the major issue was that milk product, that is non-vegetarian milk, that could be settled out, because there is not major chunk of imports of these farmer products. The major export from USA is automobiles, their cars, their Boeings, their defense equipment. That is the major export from there. Their nuclear that instrument or the parts and other things. So India will have to open its market for the international world, because now look at the policy of the India. We have opened everything to the China. Now China is dumping everything in the India, right from toys to garments to this electronics, electricals. Now instead of giving that such an opportunity to China, we shall negotiate with the USA, because USSR cannot, this Russia cannot be a replacement of USA, because there are very bleak chances of having huge exports with the Russia, because Russia is not a big economy. Although you can export some of the this hosiery and other things, or some of the because their demand side is very low. And so in that case, India will have to improve its relation with the USA only, if they have to, because 18% is a big blow. And secondly, India was earning around $42 billion, that is around 3 lakh 50 crores from the USA, because their export was around 7 lakh 50,000 crores, and import was around 3 lakh 88,000 crores. So in a way, the India was saving 3 lakh 70,000 crores from the USA. Now, with that deficit, with that loss, India will require more quantity of dollars to repay its bills, either it's oil import or other import. So that will be also, because with China it's a negative. We are importing around 9 lakh crores, and we are exporting 1 lakh 50 crores. So there is a deficit of 7 lakh crore with the China. So to cover up such deficits, we need such countries from where we can have such profits.
Like you said that there is need to improve relationship with the US. If this relationship doesn't improve, you said Russia is not a good option as there is no demand, less demand over there. So what are the other alternatives with India?
Other alternatives will be that India will have to put ban on the imports from China, because we have held over our economy to the China. We cannot sell in the domestic economy, and if our exports will also suffer, because 18% is almost 20%. 20% is a big part of our exports, and it cannot be replaced with any countries like Europe or even the UK, even after the FTA. So the one alternate will be that there shall be a similar duty on the imports from China and other countries, so that we can at least have a domestic market to sell our product. Secondly is that dependency on imports, that we have to reduce, because presently India is importing around 24.83% of its GDP, whereas the USA, which is the biggest importer of the world, that they are just importing 14% of their GDP. So India will have to cut down its imports, so that the industry can have a domestic market in their hand. The similar duties can be imposed on China and other countries. Those are dumping the issues with the India. So this is one alternate, and secondly, the FTAs with the Europe and other countries, because African countries or European countries, India will have to sign FTAs, because the countries like Vietnam, Pakistan, and this Bangladesh, they are having the benefits of this least developed economy. So we have to tell the WTO that these benefits shall go off now, because they are the good economies now. Even the per capita GDP of Sri Lanka and this Bangladesh is better to India. So India will have to go to the WTO also. And secondly, the domestic demand we need to improve. And one of the solution could be the ban on the Chinese goods. And secondly, that we have to find the alternate markets. Like we have to tell the Russia to import maximum from India instead of China and other countries. So if it is with due to the Russia, then India shall be their preferential importer instead of China. So these are the alternatives we have. And finally, we have to sit on the table, because we are not China. Because when they imposed duties on China, and finally there were some products like rare earth minerals and other things, and China, actually the problem with India is a very bleak economy. We don't have any good technology. We don't have any products those can have monopoly in the export, whereas China have the product that is having the monopoly in every country, and it cannot be replaced with the India or other countries. So that was the reason that the USA have to negotiate with the China, and finally they settled on the 17%. And India is not having such capabilities that that could don't having any bargaining power, I will say. So it will be difficult for India to get manage USA, because finally they have to withdraw from the Russia, and that will be the only condition of the USA to have lower down the duties with India.
So India will have to withdraw the imports from Russia. And
One more thing is there, that okay, we are importing the cheap petroleum products from Russia. Now, what is the benefit to the public? We are having the costliest petrol instead of if we compare with the other countries. The petrol prices, if you see in 2014, the crude oil price was around $160, and it even goes up to 180, and now it's $60. And at that time the petrol price was 65 rupees, and now it's 95 or 98 rupees in Punjab. So the benefits, those are given by those countries, even of the Russia, they are not passed on by the petroleum companies to the public. And that is due to their profiting. They are avoiding US, and they are not avoiding for the love with the Russia or anything patriotism. This is the reason that Indian government is supporting these petrol companies or these petroleum companies like Reliance and Adani and other companies. And these companies are becoming rich on the cost of the public. Now the USSR is supplying around $50 to $60, and on that cost, India, the petrol price shall not be more than 50 rupees per liter in India. But look at they are having the profit of more than 40 or 50 rupees. That is the reason that Indian government is supporting these petroleum companies, and they don't want to improve the relation with the USA, because it is their win-win situation.
Right. So at last, if we summarize all the points, first we have to improve relationship with the USA, because there is a big 18% blow to the Indian exports. And second, if these relations are not improved, then we have to do FTAs with different countries, right? And then we have to, India has to ban on Chinese products. And what were the more points regarding Russia, or what were the other points that you mentioned?
The thing is that if petroleum is the only reason with the issue with the USA, India shall go because you don't take this as a patriotism or anything. Is because these days the economy rules, and still we are having the 80 crore people. Those are fed by the government, and we are having one of the poorest economy in the world. We'll have to accept this, although we say that we are number 4, but look at the population of Japan and population of India, that is 150 crores and 13 crores. So if the earning of that 12 crores and the earning of 140 crore is the similar. We cannot say that we are the fourth economy because India is suffering at the moment. India is not a very good or we say developed economy. We are under very much underdeveloped stage. So at this point of time, with such issues that with the USA and with the because not only USA, the next countries will be the NATO, and there in NATO most of the European countries will be there in NATO, and if the relations with the USA not improved, and you will see that within coming days the NATO will also import the duties on India. So we shall not be a part of this China-Russia war alliance because that will go against India's economy. We are a secular and non-aligned country because not even today in 1947 we were a non-aligned country. So we shall not be a part of the Russia or part of the USA. We have to see our economy and our trade. So at the moment, if we will not improve our relation with the USA, the next blow will be from the NATO also. And they are also in a position to impose duties because the war is between the Ukraine and the NATO, and the USA is fighting on one side. If India will say that he is allied with the Russia, then we'll lose our European market also. And finally, you will say that if situation continues, the FTA will with China will this UK will also revoke. So India, instead of becoming a part of this USA-China alliance, we shall come up with the open position and we shall tell that this is the USSR price, you give us the better price, we will buy from you. So instead of becoming a part of their war strategy, we shall go for the economic strategy.
Thank you so much. So he was industrialist Badish Jindal, who is president of World MSME Forum. So he explained in detail how this 50% tariff on Indian exporter, it is going to affect the Indian industry, the Indian economy. It is a big 18% blow to the Indian exports. So he mentioned different types of ways, what kind of alternatives Indian government is required to, they can ban on Chinese product, they can do FTAs with other countries, they can, but the big thing is they have to stay away from China, Russia, this trade war ties. So and they should concentrate on expanding their economy to strengthen their economy, to strengthen their ties with US. So you are watching The Savera. Stay tuned to us. Follow us both on Facebook and YouTube, and also download our mobile application. Amarpal Singh with cameraman Manoj Sidhu.